What's up? I'm here in my incredibly dirty garage, and well, I got a few things to do to the car. So one thing for sure I did not tell you though on the dyno, we were only seeing roughly 50 psi max of oil pressure. Now that's not good at all. So I think we've narrowed it down to possibly location and routing. So it's one of the things we're going to do today. We're going to reroute the oil pressure line, move it over to the driver's side, and see what we can do maybe about bodywork. Now, first things first, I feel like using sock bolt locations. That one, that was not gonna work. But since I like doing that, I might drill one right here. I don't know yet. I'm just gonna do that. Let's go get a Sharpie. Get to marking. Make sure everything's lined up again. There's that. Now this factory bolt hole is right there. So let's put a mark right there. The other one a little bit further down. So since this one is right about here, don't want to drill too far close, so I'll probably use a self-tapper up there. And of course I have to do the same thing up here with everything else. Oh, it's getting loud outside. Alrighty. Let's open this piece of crap. Yep. Oh well. Thing isn't meant to be pretty, it's meant to work. Now we gotta check that out. I gotta make sure my door opens. Oof. Oof. Well, I got a Dremel for a reason. Okay. Get the Dremel out. First, let's mark some holes. Got one hole drilled here, and I'm going to take this back out. A little bit more flexibility with it. Probably widen this hole some. Drill another hole down here, which is hard for you to see, of course, but I think you'll get over it pretty well. Make these holes a little bit bigger. Like I said, I need a little bit of wiggle room to adjust the fender to where I need. If I have to get out the Dremel and cut that part of the fender off, I'll do it. I don't care. It's just a fender. I need to go back some. Yeah, okay, just really stiff. No big deal. This guy back in really fast. And drill another hole down here. See if I can put both in there real quick. Maybe just tighten it all up. Alright, so I got the bottom bolt in. Now it has really kind of bowed this out some. Had to bend that bracket down or in a little bit. It's hard to see. My lighting is not good. But there's actually a bolt broken off in there, so I can't use that, which is fine. I'll just tighten it up top and see what we can do with it. So we'll get you doing that. Easy. Tell them color. Totally worth it. So we got this thing all bowed out, which is not good, but as of right now, door rubs very minimally, so I'll just run with that. So we got our impact, got our self tapper, we got our 10mm, and we have mounted fender. Nope, wrong way. Most of all, we have a dead battery in the impact. I like this pisser. Well, I guess I'll come back to that a little bit later. I'm getting there. Stay. Maybe. I have an idea. I have drilled. Ooh, I was right there, thankfully. There it is. Trusty duo. Now, alrighty. Now, I'm not 100% sure on how long this fender is really going to last me. It looks a little bit flimsy. Well, let's do this again. Right there. Let's grab us another safe tapper. Run it down. I think that's about it for this fender. Rinse and repeat for the other side, alright? As you can tell, I have just enough clearance in there for my wheel and tire, which I might be changing out to an 18. I'm not 100% sure. I already know on the back because the tire was turned inward, turned to the left, so the tire was already in. But I'm not sure if I'll go with an 18. Thinking about it. But I haven't quite made that decision. Let me know what you think. Put down in the comments what you think. 18s or keep my 17s. Now on the passenger side of the car, I have a special little guy right down there because with my stock fenders, which are over there in a corner in a trash pile, I was pulling them so hard that I actually popped this little clip out. Pull it completely off. See a hole down there. I was trying to drill things in. Yeah, it wasn't a good time. So thankfully, Kevin at Turn 5 Fabrication in Van Alstyne put that on there, and he was able to make it work for this, so I can put a fender back on it, which is awesome of him. Thank you very much. He's also the guy who did my downpipe, as well as my intercooler piping. Super good guy, good price. He does really good work with cages. So if you have any cage work, any fabrication work, or anything special you might want to do, whether it be anything fabrication, really, give him a design. He has a plasma CNC, he can cut it, get it all set up for you. Now as you can see, I got this side on as well, but of course as things always go, one side goes easy, the other side not. You can see here, I had to trim up a little bit. I know it's not the best, but it clears it up some. Now I need to brace it somewhere in the bottoms. It is still a little bit flimsy. I really don't want to rip this thing off, But for the first time in at least 2 years, my car has fenders on it, and I don't have a massive amount of poke. So let's go straighten up the wheel. Let's see what it looks like. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Now, could be a little bit more flush, but before I had, oh hell, I don't know, it probably looked about like that with my fenders instead of like that. You know, stock fenders can only go so far. But still waiting on the mail to get here. And once the mail gets here, I should have my fitting in. I'll start working on the oiling system. Mail finally came. Let's get these fittings out. Now, what we got here is an adapter fitting, effectively. Now we have our 1/8 NPT to -3 fitting, as well as a -8 male to -8 female with a 1/8 NPT fitting inside here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in line with my oil cooler and put this in right here. Put that to my oil pressure sensor. And we'll see roughly if this changes the outcome of what I'm seeing oil pressure wise. So as you can see, my oil pressure sensor is right there, which actually runs around my firewall and right down to here, which is right next to my turbo elbow. Now, it's very hard to see. The lighting in here sucks because, well, it's a apartment garage. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to take that off and extend the wires down here all the way over to the driver's side. So let's get cracking. Now, here comes the hard part. Get out. Let's see, how well is this going to work? Ooh, saucy. Okay. So, later. Since I do not own AN wrenches or anything, any AN set, crescent wrenches work great, unless I know what size they are, which I don't. That should be a 13. We'll start there. So let's get going. Yeah, it'll work. As you can see again, this is for what would be a second turbo, and some people have said that they have restricted this galley here. So what I'm going to hope and pray for is that they did. And take this off and put it on the driver's side on the fitting I showed you earlier. But again, you can see it 90s up and comes straight up all the way over here, which is probably a good reason as to why my oil pressure was not the greatest. So, fingers crossed, as always, that my motor is not bad. Nope. That's that. Well, I finally got the old fitting out and the factory plug back in its location. So, now we're at a time where we need to go to the other side of the motor and pull off one of the oil cooler lines, put in that adapter, and then extend the wires. So there are my oil cooler lines. Not going to be very fun to put these on, to tell you the truth. I have to figure out which one is the feed, one is the return. So do a little bit of research and I'll get right back to it. And sometimes it works really, really well just to look at what you got. Sometimes it could just be labeled. Have I ever mentioned I'm kind of an idiot sometimes? It's fun. Alright, so I have my fitting. I'm going to put it here where it says out. And thankfully Stan knows me very well and knows that I like black fittings. So it all matches and it's real nice. Stan has always taken care of me over at Fast Turbo. He's an awesome dude. He hardly ever smiles, but he's a really nice guy and will really help you out when you need him. So let's get this taken care of without getting me too oily. No, son. How about no, Scott? Since I still have that 90 on here, I'm going to try and get this up a little bit. That way, it's a little bit easier to send the other way. Stick that up real quick. That's tight. Alright, that right there is tight. Now, we have our oil pressure sensor right here. Let's just kind of snake that down in there. Why don't we? Snake. Alright. Go on the other side of the dipstick. There we go, there it is. Go. Oh, that's tight. Now we have to mount it, clean up, and wire it. Now I've ran the line up here. It's actually right here. I'm just running it around, and I put it on the input manifold with one of these. Keep it nice and in shape. Now to figure out where I want to fully put this. Definitely don't want that just hanging around, banging around. So I'll find somewhere to tie this up, I guess, or something. I don't know. Other than that, I have to extend the wires from over there to over here. I have my wiring up here, and I'll get working on that. Oh, got my soldering iron out. I have to cut these back, unsolder them, extend them over there, aluminum back up, solder them back up. So I'm gonna get to that. I got my solder, got my strippers, got my heat shrink, I got my soldering iron, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get to it and I'll show you the finished product. Alrighty, so I got it all taken care of right now. I'll clean it up a little bit more later, but I'll show you what's going on. Got it coming from my harness here. I know it's probably hard to see. Comes across. I just have it zip tied over here to a brake line. So I got the power in the car on. Let's hop in and see what it'll do. It would typically give me around 73 psi cold beforehand, so hopefully if we get more, we should be in a good boat. Oh, fat boy problems. All right. Let's see. There it is. There it is. It is a maxed out, 100% maxed out sensor. Like I said, it's only 100 psi sensor. I'm seeing 101.7 psi. We should be good. Well, since we saw 101 psi, it means I maxed out my sensor, which means I have plenty of oil pressure. So hopefully I'm going to double check for leaks, and soon I will be going with the external gate. When I do that, I'll do another pull, send it to my tuner, and hopefully be making some pretty good power. I'd probably go around 16 psi. Seems like a good number, so might as well. I'll have some fun with this car eventually, someday. That'll be coming shortly. Hopefully the next episode or two. I'll catch you guys later.